Right, so starting with a little bit of a bang this time. Sometimes we start a little bit more restrained, but yeah, some old tracks re-released by Orlando Verne. This one's as the Nighttripper. It's called Future. So you kind of get the idea of that one. It's another nice one under the same name, the Nighttripper. Nice little jig to that one. And then on the other side, there's two under the name Frequency. I might play the other one, the inside one first. Definitely of its time. This one actually is an interesting one. It's called Kiss the Sky. And you'll notice right before the break drops in, you'll hear Jimi Hendrix any moment now. Actually, no, what am I talking about? Took a little bit further. It's a slammer. A lot of people know Orlando Verne probably from his more Detroit-styled techno stuff, but a lot of his old rave tracks are probably the ones I play the quickest, to be honest, out of his stuff. Obviously, Fix Flash as well is another classic of his, but he's been doing stuff since the late 80s, I guess. But one interesting story about that track was how, I suppose, back in the day, if you were to release a record like that and sell lots of copies, a label might be after you for it or telling you how you can't do that. So there actually is a version. There is a version of that doesn't have the Jimi Hendrix sample in it, but obviously he's re-released it now and left the sample back in. But yeah, there's a few different versions of that, and if you check around, some have the sample, some don't. This is one by LFDM. Scottish producer, I believe, and it's what label is it on? It's on Lego. Oh no, Ecstatic. Is that actually the label name? I'm not too sure. Rolling, robust, EBM style grooves. Squelchy electro stuff there. Then on the other side,
you leave that body, you leave that world.
A little bit more bare, that one. Yeah, that gets progressively a little bit crazier as it goes on. That's a nice one by LFDM. The label, I should know, E19 is the cat. I don't know, Ecstatic something or other. Maybe I should know that label, but I don't seem to recognise it. But So, yeah, next up, this is one on Stardub number 5, it says here. It's a kind of a basic channel type record. There has been literally thousands of these kind of records made. Yeah, you know what you're getting here, but I don't know, if I come across one of these that I like, I tend to still pick them up. They're always useful for early on in the night. Kind of pulsing groove. The sound that people like Steve O'Sullivan did quite well, or do quite well as well, in terms of the basic channel style of techno, of dub techno. This one isn't a million miles away either. Sorry, I should give you a bit of info on that last record. On that one was Dib, E110, Low Dub, Gradient, and Marco Cassanelli. And that label is, well, all I'm seeing here is Stardub is the info I'm seeing on it. That's the thing with some white labels, you don't get the full info sometimes, or the label, but I'm guessing that it's Stardub is the name of the label. This one is on Will and Ink, which are pretty solid, I think Dutch label actually. Yeah, a little bit more of it, not a million miles away from the last record actually. A little bit more of a build up in it. Yeah, I like this label, it's good, kind of smooth, but relatively heavy hitting actually out in the club. This is by Yaleesa, Hall, and Malin. That's the other producer. So yeah, like there's good grooves on some of these Will and Ink records, and usually a good hefty kick on a lot of them as well. In ways, some of that's a little bit like kind of mid-90s style minimal. Yeah, I think I'm digging the other side a little bit more. That one's not bad either. Now, going on to Trikk is this producer. And this is on Optimo Trax, which is Optimo's record label, and they have got through the releases really fast. They're already up to number 23, and this is, it's fairly slow, restrained kind of stuff, but it's really nice low slung tribal grooves. Going on to the other side. Yeah, a little bit more of a bite off the drums there. Going on in the tracks, but they're just good and hefty, and could definitely work as good bridging tracks, depending on the time of the night as well. This one is by Johan Platt. Obviously quite different to the last record we just played. More noisy jacking kind of stuff. Yeah, this is kind of a little bit more Chicago-y, almost like something on a Dance Mania record. And then onto the flip, we've got 2 tracks from Embarks, who I believe is a guy, or maybe two guys from Detroit or Chicago. It's one or the other. Yeah, more jacking kind of acid thing there. More of a skipping beat on this one, and that's on Fun in the Murky. Johan Platt as well, who you might know from doing stuff with Boner M, and Fun in the Murky as well is Trevor Wilkes's label. Some of you may know Trevor Wilkes from just various stuff he's done over the years, mostly with that website and radio show. I guess it's his radio show that a lot of people will know, but he's been hosting all sorts of. He used to have like a lot of news and post up a lot of mixes and stuff like that on Fun in the Murky, but it's also a good radio show as well. And now he's has a label. They've got, let's see how many releases out so far. That's number 5. I think there might have been one before after that as well. This one's by Planetary Assault Systems. This is the Ben Sims edit of, what's the name of the tune again? Of Gated. And let's see, what's the other one? Of Gated. And then this is an old one by Luke Slater. It's Planetary Assault Systems. Called Dungeon. So he's kind of re-releasing a few tracks and getting a few remixes as well. This one is by Phase. There's a good choice of remixer there as well. That one's on Mote Evolver. Let's see, what else have we got here? Here's one by Monolake, actually. And Monolake is somebody who I've mentioned on the show before, who I mentioned in the same breath as Surgeon, actually. If you see one of his records, just get it. You don't really need to listen to it. It's always top-notch. He has few peers, really, when it comes to this type of dense, broken techno sound. On his label Inbalance Computer Music, which is going for a good bit of time now. Onto the other side. Offering, but what I like about his stuff is some of the sequences are often quite odd, but certainly his beats are still straight enough to fit together with other techno that's around quite smoothly as well. This one is on Unknown to the Unknown, and this one is by LA4A. He's been doing great stuff on his own label Delft, which I've been playing a lot of on this show, or whatever we call it, so far. So a nice vocal acidy thing there. remix here as well, which probably been the one I've been playing the most off this, but certainly liking the other tracks too. Yeah, slight little bit more heaviness off this one. And that's on Unknown to the Unknown, which is DJ House's label. Moving on, this one is a recent one on Token, and it's, let me see, let's check this out. It's Phase, but it's some different versions or different remixes. So this one, yeah, let me check, because I don't have all the, where are we? Yeah, it's the A side. So this is an original one, it's called Like a Light. And yeah, it's a Token by Phase, who's had many records on Phase, is one of the main artists on that label. Loopy, but some nice things drifting in and out. This is the Substance remix. I think this is the one I'll be playing the most actually. It reminds me quite a lot of Bandulu, of some of the older Bandulu stuff. There. Let's see, who are the remixes by on the other side? Recon Dub, Polar Version. I think they're just other versions by Phase as well, maybe, unless Polar is someone else. I don't know about that though. So again, fairly bare dubby tracks, but definitely very useful in big open spaces. And that one closes it out. Now here is one on a label called New York Imports, and there's an interesting story behind this, which some of you may know. Initially these tracks were selected by Nicole Gear for her label New York Tracks. She thought the tracks were by a girl called Hayden Hush, who sent her these tracks, who claimed she was from New York. Any of the artists that release on the label need to be based in New York or from New York. That's the vibe of the label. That's Nicole's ethos. And basically, this girl conned her way into a record by Hayden Hush did, which isn't her real name, but she conned her way into the record by basically ripping people's tracks off their SoundCloud and claiming they were hers, unreleased tracks, and she sent them to Nicole as a demo. Nicole loved the tracks and quickly confirmed the release, but as the files and stuff went up online, one of the producers, who is this producer? Is this one? Oh, okay. So two of the tracks on this are by Dawid, Dahl. It wasn't this producer. It was the other producer who spotted it, I think. Another Alias, who is Dermot Bateman, who's a Dublin producer. He's from Rathfarnham. It's great to see his name, or at least his alias's name on a record. But yeah, as it all happened, it was obviously a complete disaster for Nicole when she found out that what had happened. But having the backbone that she does, and trying to make the best out of a bad situation, she created a sub-label called New York Tracks Imports. She did love the track. She wouldn't have wanted to release them otherwise. So she made contact with the guy Dawid Dahl, who I don't think had noticed what had happened, but he was, I don't know, somebody found out that it was him that had made the tracks. So she touched base with both producers and decided to release them on this new sub-label, which I think was a very admirable thing to do. This is the one by another Alias, Dermot Bateman. This is the one I'm probably playing the most of this record. pretty fierce out. It's called Crack Fiend. And then on the other side is another one by David. Is it Dawid? Dahl? Brutal pounding stuff there. But yeah, fair play to everyone involved, because it was a really a bit of a meltdown for Nicole when that happened, and to have come out with a good solid record like this and with all the producers happy about it. It's only a shame that the person who tried to pass these off as her own felt that she needed to do something like that to get a record out. You know, I think maybe she just needs to spend some more time in the studio, or I don't know, but you know, it's not that easy, and how on earth she expected to get away with it was another thing. But yeah, so that is New York Trax number 1. Now next up is one on a label called Bass Agenda. This one is by Finlow. And yeah, thanks to Bass Agenda actually for sending me this and a few other ones as well. But I was just playing the newest one on the show this time. Yeah, just have to say about Bass Agenda, they've released a lot of good electro, both digitally and on record and on vinyl. This is their latest record, and it's a split 12 between Finlow and Des Williams. This one is Finlow at least has done stuff going back many years actually, and some people will know his Silicone Scally electro as well, which I may have played on this before, but he's done quite a lot over the years. Stuff on Satamile, what other labels? Oh, quite a few, sorry, I could start reading them all off, but let me see. Yeah, this is the one I'm kind of going for the most on this. Random Factor, I think, is another one of his aliases, which would be a little bit more housey, which you might have seen on 2020 Vision and labels like that. Yeah, Finlow, he's kind of someone that's always... He has a huge discography, but he seems like somebody that disappeared for a while. I don't know if he did. I don't know if as electro became less popular, or maybe started to not sell as much. There was just less labels around putting stuff like this out. But certainly Bass Agenda seems to be a label that are keeping it real. Now on the other side, we've got Des Williams, who's one of the most prolific producers out there. Doing his acid electro thing. Yeah, this is the one I think I'm playing most off this side. Good rock and beats there. And then this one's a little bit of a madder concoction. Yeah, so that's on Bass Agenda, Des Williams and Finlow on that one. Now going on to, it's not even that recent now at this point, but it's by Setoac Mass on Figure. And it's been a while since I've had a good bit of time, or good, you know, there's a good 3.5 months really since we did the last one. So even records like this, I'm going, oh, did I have this in the last show, or did I get this within the right time frame? It seems like I've had this record for a while, but yeah, I think this is the only time we've covered it. I don't think I've had any kind of duplicates or times I've played something twice, but sometimes when you have a bit of a gap or a distance, you kind of wonder, you forget. Yeah, he does the kind of Berghain style techno very well, but you know, there's a little bit of a range on this one. Electro tune, deeper electro tune here. And then on the other, sense this is probably the only kind of Berghain style techno one. A lot of the ones he's done so far had a little bit more of that sound. I'd say this is the only kind of Berghain-y type track on it. Yeah, another strong offering from him. This one is by Kassem Mosse, and it's on Honest John's, I think. Quite minimalist. I have to say I probably got a little bit more excited about it when I heard it first. Yeah, it's decent. It's decent. I think some producers like Kassem Mosse, they have some good records out, and then they put something else out and everyone creams themselves and it's like the best record ever. And you know, sometimes I don't want to say I fall for that, but if a lot of people are raving about a record, I'll take a little bit of interest as well. This is a good record, but it's to say it's maybe not as amazing as I thought it was when I got it first. But I think the long size I would probably use. This one's not bad as well. Yeah, pretty bare kind of groove there. Now, yeah, this one is on Subject Detroit, which is DJ Bone's label. This one's by Deetron, and they've called this one the Storytellers EP. Inspired stuff here from Deetron. It's pretty much a variation of the same track. And now on the other side, yeah, for me it's all about the DJ Bone side. This is the one I've been playing. The Beats version of his original track, Black Patterns. Yeah, a lot of raw low end in that. It really kicks on the dance floor. Yeah, danceable techno. To be more of this kind of stuff around. It's kind of interesting when you play a track that has a piano in it. It does take people by surprise in a techno set. It's one of the reasons why I particularly like playing this one actually. So that's DJ Bone on Subject Detroit. Next one is Paranoid Dancer is the name of this label. Now I'm not sure. Does that mean it's? Does this mean it's Johannes Heil's label? I guess it must be because he's the person whose track was called Paranoid Dancer that everyone would know. But the original artist here is Patrik Carrera. This is a radial mix, a snaky techno groove. Yeah, I like that one. And then on the other side we have Dub Speaker. Slightly more atmospheric. James Ford with the remix here. This might very well be the pick here. direction. Yeah, I suppose it kind of loosely fits into the IDM, that horrible term, but it's certainly not saying it's a horrible track. A really nice one by him. So let me see. This is one on Ugly Funk. This one is by Black Mass Plastics, and yeah, as I said, it's on Ugly Funk, and it's a double pack on Ugly Funk, and it has this cool insert as well. If you can, people can see that. Yeah, and I think Ugly Funk is the best name for a label ever, by a mile actually. Really describes what they do and what a certain amount of labels do and try to achieve. Yeah, always loved the name and loved what they've done in the past. It used to be a club night as well. I'm not too sure if they're running nights anymore, but Ugly Funk, the label. Actually, they haven't had too many releases. Like, this is only Ugly Funk 9, and they have been going quite a long time. Yeah, I think this is the one I'm playing the most, and this is called Doomatron. And it turns into this breaky section. Now onto the flip. Yeah, a lot of broken beats throughout this. Yeah, this one's pretty doomy as well. Nice stuff from him. And actually, Black Mass Plastics, I haven't heard him do too much techno, but it's nice to hear his take on it. Electro vibes. And again. And then finally. Yeah, again, it sounds very like the Mover or some of these tracks. Or maybe old Laurie D or something. All in all, a really solid offering from him. So yeah, that's Black Mass Plastics on Ugly Funk. It's a double pack as well. So yeah, make sure you check that one. Check that one out. Next up then is this one by Bodyjack, and again this falls into the category for me anyway. Did I play this before? I don't think I did. It's just that time frame of a few months, you just forget. It seems like I've had this record for a long time. No, I didn't. I don't think I did. So kind of shuffly house thing. Yeah, and I think Chris Fink, who is Bodyjack, I think he's moved to just now putting stuff out under his Heat alias. But personally, I don't know, I kind of prefer the body track stuff. I like the Heat stuff too, but I've found the body track stuff to be just a little bit more of a standout on today's, I don't know, vinyl market. There's not so many people doing this kind of stuff at the moment. And there's a good range of stuff he's done with body tracks as well. Some of it's quite jacking, some of it's quite bassy, almost like UK bass style stuff. Now this one is forthcoming on Earwiggle. Actually, it's by a new producer called Gert P. Literally just got back the test pressings. And a little bit of a throwback to, I guess, 93, 94 era hardcore, but maybe at more of a techno tempo of now. Yeah, this one's probably the slightly different to the 3 other tracks on it now. Happy Acid. Yeah, start on the B side there, should really start on the A side. A little doomier. This will be out a little bit later in the year. Not too sure exactly when, but yeah, it should be later in the year sometime. Well, we are getting late enough in the year already, but I guess December or late November or something like that. We'll see. And then blaster there from him. It's Gert P. It's his first release. Now this one is by somebody called Future 91 92. Actually for the tip on this one. I didn't know this record at all, but yeah, apparently it's an established producer but making stuff under a new name. That's a fairly long breakdown. Now onto the flip. One on that side is the one from me. Now over to Robert Hood now. This one was on Deck Mantle, or is on Deck Mantle. It's out a while actually. Pretty warm, driving techno grooves. It's probably the one I've been playing. I don't think I'll be playing the other side. Yeah, it's the one I've been playing. Yeah, it's a good kind of formula he has. Pretty predictable kind of filtering, but all very effective. This one is by Octal Step, and it's a new one on a new label called First Cut. And First Cut is Richard Brophy's label, and a small little vinyl shop or vinyl selling enterprise as well. Based here in Dublin. And yeah, to me, like this sounds like being down in Matt's, drinking a cup of tea and just listening to what he's been bashing out on his machines. And it's a good example of this over the 3 tracks. Good raw techno jams. Onto the next side. DJ type tracks. This is the one which I think is called Muscle Memory. I think this is my favourite of the 3 tracks. Snap off of that. Yeah, it's a funny one with Matt actually, because he makes an awful lot of music. Sometimes maybe doesn't get enough of it out actually. And this is a really good first release on First Cut under his new name, as I said, Octal Step. So let's hope there's going to be more under that name. Yeah, this is the joint for me. Just seems to be more changes in this and a lot more purpose in the track for me anyway. Yeah, really liking this one. He's definitely in the zone on this. Yeah, three solid tracks on that. Now, moving on, this one is by Mystical, and he's been doing stuff on his label, shit, what's the name of his label? I forget, and I should know, I should be able to remember. Nix Records, N-I-C-Z. This one is on a Russian label, Sanis's label, Downfall Theory. And Mystical, he's one of these guys. A year or two ago, there was a lot, maybe even longer. There was quite a lot of producers who were sounding very like Blauen. Now there was, some of the producers might have put 1 or 2 records out like that, but others have kind of developed their sound, and I would include Mystical in that as well. I would say he is quite influenced by Blauen's sound. But yeah, some of the stuff he's putting out now just really have another type of identity on them. This one particularly. Yeah, it does. It still does sound quite Blauen-y, but and even the way Clouds went for a while as well. But yeah, great, really strong dance floor track this, and I know from playing it a few times, when you drop this one, people go pretty nuts. It's one of the most powerful new tracks I have at the moment. So that's Mystical, and check check back through his discography as well. He's done some good stuff. This one is on Gynoid Audio, actually. Yeah, it sounds like an old thing on sine wave or something like that, albeit slightly more shuffly. Maybe just a kind of FM synth in the back, but this, yeah, because I want to come to what my favorite one is. So this is the Mary Velo one. A bit more spaced out. This one is the Craig McWhinney remix of Ground Loop. Now on the other side was Matthias Friedel, but the advanced human one, I think it's advanced human anyway, track. It's probably the pick off this big acid one. Yeah, I'd say this probably got a lot of plays actually. It's one a lot of people actually messaged me about after Neopop in Portugal, asking me what it was. But yeah, that's that one. Advanced Human Labyrinth is the name of it. This one is on a new label from the Killy Kill guys, which is called Danse series. And they've opened up with a couple of EPs from Des Williams and Kamikaze Space Program. This is the Kamikaze Space Program one. Now, is this the Joe Farr remix? I can't actually remember which is which. Yeah, this is the Joe Farr remix. Cool inserts as well, drawings or pictures or paintings, whatever you want to call them, pictures, sketches, but yeah, they all come with one of these. Yeah, nice changes in that. And this is the original tracks by Kamikaze Space Program. Yeah, he has such a hefty sound. And then these are two original tracks by Kamikaze Space Program as well. Yeah, I like this one. It's all very rhythmic. Straight ahead, nice little switching kind of sequence there. So that one is on Vanta series, and there's still a nice little bit to come in that track, but you can check it out anyway. This one is by Thomas Heckman on AFU Limited. And yeah, that's the classic Heckman sound, isn't it? Yeah, he's good at those kind of kicks. I think if you blindfolded a lot of people and asked them whose kick drum is that, a lot of people would probably be able to identify it as a Thomas Heckman kick drum. Yeah, he's been doing those kind of kicks. I guess a lot of people will know his old stuff like Amphetamine and Phosphine and that. He always has these good spiky, weighty kick drums. Playing the most off with this. Now, what's on the other side? This is a bit not bad. got that one. Going on to the other side, there's a VSK remix, which puts a little bit of a different slant on it. A broken, or like a broken, heavy broken kind of techno track. Slower, darker, heavier inside track then from Heckman. Of course, Thomas Heckman. If you go check online, check on YouTube, go look for pictures of his studio. It's probably one of the best things you'll ever see. Now, this one is a new one on Voitax, who have been slowly but surely putting out or amassing a really solid catalogue of heavy techno. This one is by Vlason, I think. Used to go under the name of Octave. And actually, now that I think of it, there's an Octave record, which I hope I have played on this. I think I might have played it last time around on Analog. And if I haven't played it, and if I somehow also forgot to bring it this time and haven't played it yet, make sure you check that out because it's a really good one. But this is as Vlason. This is my favourite of it, actually. The broken acids thing. Yeah, and he's had a few now out under this name. Vlason, you might remember his EP on Mindcut there recently. Matt and me did a tinfoil remix on it actually as well. But yeah, I think this one now is it's going more in an acid direction, and that's that's the one for me off of this. Let's see what's on the other side. Yeah, so similar sound palette. Yeah, kind of gradually builds up that one. Now let's see what's next. This one is by Roberto on his label Fossil Archive. He's got a couple of really solid remixes on this actually. I think this is the Rolando one. Oh no, it sounds like it's the Setoac one. Yeah, I could nearly bet my life that that's the Setoac one. He does that kind of jacking. Yeah, it's the Setoac remix. A killer, that one. Now on the other side, yeah, this is the Rolando remix, and it's funny because Rolando, he does he's obviously best known for Knights of the Jaguar, which he produced at New Or quite a few years ago, probably with the help of Gerald Mitchell and some of the other UR gang. His name was on the record. Actually, what was the shit now? I'm trying to think of Los Hermanos, I think was the name that was used for that, which the other UR guys carried on and used after that. Was it Los Hermanos originally, and then after that it started to just become known as Rolando? I can't remember, but I remember all the time it was always known as Rolando's tune, and certainly he took a lot of the credit for it. But I think as it transpired, it seemed that it may have been more than just Rolando involved in that record. But that isn't taking anything away from Orlando as a producer, because for me, as a remixer, he's one of the best around. He's done some really amazing ones. Actually, check out that Population 1 remix that he did. I remember being on a white vinyl on Rush Hour. Oh shit, when was that? Maybe about 8-9 years ago. Some of those Terrence Dixon track. And what's the tune called? Rush Hour. Maybe I'm mixing something up. Anyway, Rolando, yeah. Brain freeze there. It is a Monday, but yeah. Yeah, and Roberto is racking them up. Although there's no tracks by him on this, they're both remixes of him. And if you want good, fairly heavy hitting, but deep sounding at the same time techno tracks, look no further than his label, Fossil Archive. This one is by Blotter Trax. By the very mysterious TB Arthur. I'm not sure if this gentleman is going to reveal his identity at some stage. It seems to be definitely a ploy that you see used a lot, where a producer will not reveal their identity and everyone will wonder who it is. But you know, people only really want to know who it is when the tracks are particularly good. And in this case, everything that TB Arthur has been doing has been immense, actually. Yeah, I'd be kind of interested if he does reveal his identity. This one is him and Magda together under the name Blotter Trax, and a lot of you will know Magda from her association with Richie Houghton, and then doing her own label, I think Items and Things as well is the name of it. But yeah, certainly a good combo between the two of them here. Stuff as well, some of his own original material. This is particularly slow. Oh, hang on. Yeah, they played a little trick there. Seems like the inside track will play at 45, but the first one on that side will play at 33. Or maybe you can play the whole side at 33. Sounds better 45 for that one. So yeah, that's Blotter Trax, the first release. Yeah, I don't know if they'll do another one, if that'll be a series, but that's the first one so far. Now this one is on a label, and I've played something on this before, I think. I think it comes with a poster or something. This is a label called Secret Rave, from what I remember. The first one was really good, actually. So, who's on us? Anybody, anytime, G23, Rivet. Old school hardcore vibes. nice orange vinyl there. It's actually hard to have a pick on that. They're all really good. Now, moving on, here's a double pack. This is from Joyless, who are Dave Tarita and Punk Dawid. This is on Nackstrom Schallplatten. Yeah, and I'd say it must be one of the. Oh yeah, this is one of my favourites of it. You'll probably hear a little bit more of Dave Tarita in that one anyway. It would definitely be the heaviest, one of the heavier records that I've heard Punk Dawid involved in. Yeah, a nice combo between the two of them. And they have done stuff going back quite a few years. They had that one on Missile from what I remember. Oh shit, I can't even remember. Although I'm being a little bit sad trying to remember a catalogue number of a record from the early 2000s. But yeah, that was back when I used to follow Missile quite closely. Back when they were in full flight. They did relaunch again though recently. Now. Restrained of the tracks there. And another type of option there as well. So yeah, that's a double pack. It's by Joyless and it's on Nackstrom Schallplatten, as I said. And maybe I might be able to get these Schallplatten back into their cover. Yes, I managed it. Now, here is one by Shifted. Going back to the style of his old records on Avian, which had no info on them, other than maybe an insert, which we have here. It was on a new label called Drifting Over. Yeah, it just did sound pretty well. Definitely quite inspired by Regis. Perhaps not this one now. I think Shifted still has his own sound for sure. These kind of bare, moody techno grooves. He certainly brought a new level of production to this style. Slightly more modern. Yeah, this one's a lot more atmospheric. Yeah, this one's a bit different. I think my favourite of his is still that one, Chapter, I think it was called Chapter 69. And actually there's elements of that in this as well. Well, a little. Yeah, nice one. Yeah, this was the one I was going for most. Doesn't do loads, but it does things at the right time. Subtle bits of atmosphere creeping in and out. Yeah, for me it's all about this track really. Definitely be playing that one. Yeah, and no doubt something that's going to sound very production on it is really good. So that's on his new label called Drifting Over. Yeah, nice one there. Now, moving on to... Yeah, I don't know what it is. Why am I having problems getting all these back into their covers at the moment? Oh no, there we go. This one is on Don't Be Afraid. And it's by Dawid. Couple of London producers. Ben Gibson being one of them. That one, it's on Don't Be Afraid, as I said, and it's just 2 tracks on this. Some of the Don't Be Afraid ones are often 4 trackers. Yeah, they're giving these tracks a bit of space. Actually doesn't sound a million miles away from a Setoac tune, Steve Rackman's, but yeah, that's a new one on Don't Be Afraid. Now next up is this, which is an interesting kind of mini album on Solar One on the Ecstatic label. Now this one involves a number of people. It involves Heinrich Müller. It's Project STS-31, and I forget who it's is it the Exaltics and Heinrich Müller, aka Gerald Donald, together. Let me see. Okay, because it seems like they're all original tracks on this, so they're not remixes. Okay, so it's a little bit of a mixture, mostly involving Heinrich Müller, Gerald Donald's stuff. So they all have a little bit of a Drexian vibe off them. I love how some of these words are how some of these producers develop their own words, and like how you can describe something as Drexian. It's like the way Jeff Mills' records became Millsian as well. I don't know who the first writers would have been to have coined the phrases, but props to whoever did, because it's handy being able to call or describe something as Drexian. So yeah, I'll just give this a quick flick really. There are 8 tracks on it after all, of varying moods and tempos. That's something I like about Solar One as well. You can never be 100% sure of what you'll get on it. The quality will always be there, but some tracks are more for the dance floor. Some can be very heavy hitting, and then you've got a release like this. Definitely work in a club. Yeah, it sounds very like the Arpanet stuff, or yeah, there's Zeklis stuff. I don't know which track this is. Is this Rudolf Klorzeiger? Pretty warped stuff there. Now moving on, hopefully I can get this back in. This one is by a producer called Jack Murphy. He sounds like he should be Irish, but I think he's American. This is on his new label called Knowing Something. More like a kind of lo-fi house thing. Nicely rhythmic. It's a little bit brighter sounding. free-flowing style there. It sounds like there's some nice kind of happy accidents happening in the studio there, because certainly some of the sequences kind of overlap on each other. It's going back into this again. It's still a fairly restrained kind of release overall. It's like some of the tracks don't 100% let go and take off, but I think that's part of the style, really. Broken, that one. So that's called Knowing Something is the label, and that's a new one by Jack Murphy. This one is on A&S Records, which is Jerome Search and Dimi Angelis. Yeah, you usually know what you're getting with these two. Jeff Mills inspired techno cuts that bang the arse out of it in a club. Now on to the other side. Space here sounding there. And a little bit of a basic channel nod on that. So that's the newest one on A&S Records, and these ones are numbered actually. That one's 145 of 250. This one is on Dark Matter, which is Emmanuel's new label. Yeah, and as usual, a good heavy-ass, loud record from him. Yeah, I like this kind of quite jumping kind of beats on this. Sounds very like a Mark Broom track actually from a couple of years ago, or maybe it was a Mark Broom remix of Heiko Lau, was it? I can't remember. Sounds a bit like that. Dare I say, Berghain sounding techno. It's good nonetheless, but yeah, the other side's a little bit more for me. This one, oh actually no, I've got a couple here on Lunar Disco. Thanks Barry and Andy for these. The first one here is, well maybe I should do it in sequence, but no, it doesn't really matter. This one is by 214. Rolling Detroit type track. Builds up nicely to this break. Thing there, a little bit like ERP, and onto the floor. Kind of disappear for a good while, but come back in near the end. And almost beatless for maybe nearly midway through the track. Well, maybe it's just a couple of minutes intro. tell how long the intro is there, actually, we're playing all the way through. Nice closer to that. So that's 214. And then next up is a new one from TR1. Just Dean Feeney and Eddie Reynolds, who have been tapping away for quite a few years, actually. They don't have a huge amount of records out, but everything they put out has been really, really good. And I like that too. They're not just firing stuff out for the sake of it. I don't think Dean lives in Ireland anymore. I don't think he does. But they're still managing to make some records together. And yeah, they started out very, very young, doing live sets together. And their live sets, I've actually only seen them play not as many times as I would have liked to have, actually. I haven't seen them any time recently, but their live sets are certainly one of their biggest strengths, alongside their tracks as well, because there are a lot of producers as well who won't play live, but these two guys love it and bring a lot of gear out with them, and have done some really, really big and well received sets here over the years. For me, it's the inside cuts on this record, one of my favourites. Of elements there, the acid line, something a little bit more melodic, playing against it as well. That's the new TR1, coming very soon on Lunar Disco. Now, UVB, this one is on his label Body Theory. A lot of UVB stuff. Certainly some of his newer stuff, you can definitely hear the influence of old Regis. So much on this one. Yeah, loud and punchy stuff there. Said, definitely Regis inspired, but with some other interesting sequences coming in and out. Yeah, pretty solid stuff there from him. There's one on Mord by a producer called A001. Yeah, another slammer here. Yeah, it's a fairly short enough track. I gotta say, with some techno records, I really like the sound of them. So it might be that it's something that I feel I can mix for a little while. As full tracks, this probably sounds like the most developed out of them, and even at that, it's fairly minimalist. No real new elements coming in as such. More so, just working with the ones that it starts with. More of a broken beat here, not too dissimilar to the Ugandan Speed Trials records that came out. It's funny with a lot of the harder stuff, a lot of it tends to come back to Regis and Surgeon. So that one is on Mord by A001 is the person's name. This one is by Mark Broom on Gynoid Audio. Now, I'm pretty sure this is a new one. There's some doubt in my head that it mightn't be because I don't know. Well, I'm playing it now anyway. Yeah, Mark Broom's always done this dubby techno thing very well. Deeper there. Now, whose remixes? This side is the... Oh, okay. So, yeah, the first one, the other side was Mark Broom, then Stefan Vincent, Ray's remix here. Roll off that one. This one by Advance Human, who we played something from earlier on Gynoid Audio as well. Yeah, so a fairly solid one there of remixes. Mark Broom. This one is, actually I'll go to this one, which is by Umwelt on his label Rave or Die. And all these Rave or Die ones are, they're two trackers, they're all 10 inches, and each one has a tune by Umwelt on it, plus the guest. Acidy thing, and then the guest this time is the Exaltics. Good acidy one here. Yeah, it's a good thing about the Exaltics actually. He does. Is it just one guy or is it a couple of guys? I think it's one guy, but I think I've seen like a press photo of them and it's like two people or something. I think the main producer is maybe just one person. But yeah, that's the new Rave or Die 1, Rave or Die 6. Yeah, quite happy that I'll be the guest on the next Rave or Die 1, which is Rave or Die 7, which should be out soon. This one is CLFT 12. And this is by Louis Ruiz. Yeah, thanks guys for this. I was playing with the CLFT guys, CLFT Militia, at a gig recently in Metz. Shout out to Julian as well, who took a took a bit of a risk by putting on that gig because there's no techno scene. There's virtually never been a techno gig on in Met. So what we were doing was like a big experiment. We were playing in this fairly commercial type club where people were, half the crowd there were going for it and the other half were going, what the fuck is this? So it was kind of weird. You're looking out at the crowd and like people are giving it loads, and then you look behind you and there's like 3 people with their arms folded going, what the hell is this? We're not hanging around for this. And then they'd be gone. And then later on when I finished, I was over near the bar and like you could just see different groups of people. There'd be like, you know, 3 or 4 lads in like, you know, dressed up in, you know, their best shirt and all the rest, kind of looking around going, what the hell? You know, any girls that were there were like, you know, full on dancing there, you know, and you know, not to Rihanna or anything that these lads could probably try to dance to or whatever it is they might have liked. So it was a weird one. Half the crowd were into it, half the crowd weren't, but I think that's what makes it interesting. And yeah, fair play to Julian for doing that night, because it actually turned out to be a really good night. Now, this one is by Louis Ruiz, as I said. Yeah. Yeah, it's the one I like of it now. They're all solids, but I like the intensity of this one. So that'll be the next one on CLFT. Watch out for that. A lot of the ones on that label, they're quite DJ friendly. They won't let you down. This one is by Traversable Wormhole, aka Adam X. And he hasn't had one under this name in a while. He did start out under this name, and not a lot of people knew who it was. But then I think the cat was out of the bag after a while. And then I remember Chris Liebing jumping on it and putting out a lot of Traversable Wormhole stuff on his label CLR, and putting out lots of remixes and all the rest. I'm not too sure what happened then, but the project kind of faded for a while, and that there wasn't so many releases anymore. But now he's back. This one is on Hospital Productions. Yeah, and it has that signature industrial Adam X sound. That gritty, snarling distortion that he does so well. And to the other side. Just sounds so wide and pronounced in this. It's a really well produced track. That's the line creeping into it. So yeah, that's the newest one by Traversable Wormhole. Yeah, this is a new one on a label. I'm actually not sure what is the label's name. It's Leo Petit is the guy who runs this label, and he's a young French guy who started a label not so long ago. Pretty brutal stuff there. This, as far as I remember, is my favourite one. Acidy, deep acids one. Whenever I hear a track like this, It always reminds me of Midwest Acid, someone like Freddie Fresh or something. And there's an awful lot of producers as well. I find that, to me, to my ears, they sound like Freddie Fresh. But like a lot of these producers may never have heard of Freddie Fresh or even heard of his music. But to me, that's a very Freddie Fresh type track. Yeah, for fans of Freddie or Woody McBride. This one's alright, but kind of lacking a little bit of a kick. There is a kick there, but it's buried. Bellowing acid. So let's see, who are those tracks by? Bergenist, BPMF, let's see, Ersatz, O Folks, and Urban Jedi. So yeah, that's a good one, that. Oh yeah, what's the label? Hang on, what is the label? Subrec. Oh no, Melody Souterrain. Oh god. Oh no, Late Night Records. Sorry, there's lots of different indications that it could be something other than Late Night Records, but Late Night Records, I think, is the name of that. This one is on Midnight Shift. Which is by Kink. And there's someone else called K on this as well. Almost Larry Heard's kind of vibes here. Acidity. On Midnight Shift, and I think we've actually got a few on Midnight Shift to play. Where are we? Emmanuel and Dustin Zahn, and this is the part of the show where I start saying that I'll get through the records pretty quick, and who knows whether that will happen. I'd love to be able to call this the quick quarterly crate, or the quicker quarterly crate, but it always turns out to be nearly 3 hours, but we might get it done a little bit quicker this time. Yeah, good functional techno all around on this one. It's the Emmanuel side, I think. Of them there, all solid tracks. Probably not the most remarkable record that either producer has been involved in, but certainly all pretty playable stuff. This one is Universal Body Rule, and that's actually the name of the producer as well. major changes or anything there, but a lot of solid bass pressure in that. Droning bass that pops in and out. Good solid kind of mixing tracks there. This one is by Dax J on Electric Deluxe. No kind of major lead on that particular tune. I think that makes it still a handy track to DJ with. It's the next one. Yeah, a few new experiments there from Dax. There, now to the other side. Yeah, and you can be usually guaranteed a good acid banger from Dax. Definitely with that early to mid 90s trancey acid feel to it. So much going on in that track, but a little bit like the first one on the other side, still useful, still quite useful. Now let's get to the next one. This is on Dumb Records, which is Kim Rapazzi's label, Mono Junk. Now this one's called Acid Apache. Pretty sure this came out years ago. Written and produced by Kim Rapazzi in Helsinki in 1992. So this is nearly 25 years old. Range of tracks there. Vocal in this, yeah. Now this one is under the name Melody Boy. Which is also Kim Rapazzi. Trippy there, vocal. So yeah, Mono Junk was that side. This side is Melody Boy. Oh. That's fine, that one. Let's see now. Moving on. Got Cosmo TRG here. This is on his label Physic, I think is the name of it. Yeah, this is Physic number 5. This is the Lucy remix. that in. Yeah, it's not bad. Gotta admit, I'm not really a huge Lucy fan. Don't know. I think there's sometimes too much made of his music. It's kind of intellectualized beyond what it actually is. But this one is by Minor Science. This is more the joint here. Yeah, definitely a lot more life in this one. Without getting too crazy at any time. Those weird vocals in there as well, doing some nice work. That's on Physic, and I think I have another one on this label still to play as well. Now, next one is by Ansem. There's remixes on this. The first one here is the OVR remix, which is Regis and James Ruskin. Take a while to come in, but when they do, you know all about them. This one there, and then on the other side, there's the Perk remix first. What's it do with the Perk there? Oh yeah. Chaotic, that one as well, and no doubt they had a lot of crazy audio to work with from Ansem, from the original tracks. This one is by this remix is by Randomer. Shuffly and rhythmic, as is his signature. Now moving on, Work Them Records. This one is by Anita, who is slowly but surely, not even slowly but surely, she's had a few records out in fairly quick succession. On Work Them Records, this is the second one, I can't remember. This is an Antigone remix. It's definitely one for big sound system. It's one of the original tracks. Like Anita's style. Some of it reminds me a bit of the Minimum Syndicate stuff, actually. Sort of remixes, or are they edits by? No, they're mixes. Yeah, there's a few remixes and stuff by, including this one by Spencer Parker. Yeah, I'm liking that. And then kind of just the beats mix. So, yeah, and then the kind of riff as another little segment there. So that one is by Anita, who's doing good things at the moment. Now DJ Shufflemaster, Japanese hero who is releasing these. Yeah, and it sounds just like the kind of stuff he used to do. It sounds like something off Real Music or one of the labels he used to appear on. Sub Voice as well. Ooh, you can hear a hint of Joey Beltram under there if you listen carefully, you know. But yeah, Shuffle Master, done loads of great stuff. Nice to see all these guys come back. These are all unreleased tracks actually. Retrospective. I thought they were meant to be unreleased tracks. Some of them sound very familiar though, but then again he did have a very distinct sound back then. A lot of bass in there. Yeah, nice to see him back. And those tracks are quite old, as we said, but they'll be new to a lot of people. This one is one with Subhead. And back then it was probably Phil and Jason. Sadly, Phil died about 10 years or maybe more ago, but Jason Leach is still doing stuff under that name. That one. Right, let's get something else on while I'm doing that. This one is by Andre Kronert. These are remixes actually. Search remix, I think, is it? Yeah. A little hint of acid. Ultra minimal stuff there. Steve O'Sullivan, who I spoke about earlier on. And then on this side is the Nina Cat remix. Slightly heavier. A little less subtle, and then Jesse Jacob then that's the inside one, which is a little bit heavier, and that's on Odd Even Records, which maybe is that Andre Kronert's label, I'm not sure. Very nice packaging actually as well. Now moving on, this one is by Hodge and Randomer, who I spoke about there a couple of moments ago as well. There as well. Yeah, I like that one. Yeah, some odd sequences there. Be sure where some of those sounds are coming from, but they're sounding pretty good to my ears. And that one's by Hodge and Randomer, and that's on a sub-label of Livity Sound, which is just basically Livity Sound spelled backwards, which I'm not going to try to attempt to do at the moment. Yeah, because you can't do it actually. Cosman TRG. Yeah, this is the one before. This is the one before the last one that I played. This is number 4. deep offering, but with new layers of percussion laid on top each time. But good and chunky stuff nonetheless. It's on Physic, which is his newish label. Well, actually, I think it's been going for a few years. Now, next up is this one by Birth of Frequency. You probably know his kind of sound by now. It's quite Jeff Mills influenced. Even a little bit like Old Surgeon. Yeah, nice on that. Whole group. And then there's an Oscar Malero remix on the inside. Yeah, all pretty functional stuff, but all effective for mixing with. This one is by Worker Parasite, and it's on Electric Pressure Records. Now, I'm pretty sure Electric Pressure is a club night in Athens, is it? I could be wrong there, but I think it is. Yeah. Pretty heavy ass manic remix there from Clouds. It's the original track where it came from. An acid banger there. A bit like old Future or something like that, on some of the harder stuff they used to do. Yeah, fairly static sounding kind of track, that one, but part of the style. That actually, maybe not, yeah. Yeah, I think that kick just takes up a lot of space in it. First thing I notice about it, but some nice sequences in there all the same. And a slower, raw, screaming acid thing. Yeah, nice mixture of tracks there for a hardish sounding techno record. Now this one is by Des Williams, which is on Vanta series, which we were talking about earlier, and there's a slightly different picture or sketch, I think, compared to the first one, or the other one we saw by Kamikaze Space Program, I think. And maybe each of these make up a couple of different scenes that you can put them together at the end. Actually sounds very like old Thomas Heckman there. Darker terrain there for him. Straight ahead, acid banger there. Yeah, so both on this Vanta series now have been really good. Now next up is one by Luke Slater on Oscoton. Now I have to say, if a Luke Slater album comes out, I'm always going to be quite interested. So far I've given this one listen. stuff. But I just think we've heard this thing so many times from Slater. Same way Jeff Mills has done as well. He's kind of carried on the same type of track. Does it many times, and it's not that some of these individual tracks aren't good on their own, but again, it might be just something that I need to listen to a little bit more. I just think it's characterized by too many of the same elements, really, and for a triple pack, I don't know, I have to say so far slightly underwhelmed by it, but like as is the case with certain producers, I will give it a little bit more time. In their own individual right. In fact, all of them are good in their own individual right. Nice elements of weirdness creeping in and out as well. I don't know, I think maybe I would have liked to have heard this even condensed onto a double pack rather than 3 vinyl. Let's see. There we go. Yeah, as you can hear, it's very much the same theme throughout. Jeff Mills influence, but certainly done with a fair deal of panache. Yeah, so new Luke Slater album, which is under the name Planetary Assault Systems. Now we're coming close to the end now. This one is by Boner M and Johan Platt. I actually found this kind of funny because I released this track on Earwiggle last year. I didn't know that they were putting it out on this record as well, but I think it's the way they yeah, I think they they don't actually make too much music together, and this is probably the next 4 tracks that they had figured out for the next release, which could have been held up, and this one was picked out for the comp on Earwiggle, but yeah, nothing wrong with it appearing a second time somewhere else. Raw distorted gear there. A bit more straight ahead. A little bit of a Chicago, hard Chicago feel to it. So there's a saying work, and then it's a let me see that. Let me see that. I'm not 100% sure what the sample is saying, but I don't think you're meant to know exactly. It seems to cut off when the let me work. Yeah, good. Yeah, I think that has to be my favourite of it, actually. Now, there, for instance, right? I'm liking that a lot, but it comes quite late into the tune. so I think I'll probably mix it in from around here. Yeah, maybe from about there, which can be useful sometimes when something takes a while to come in. It's just to fast forward into the track a little bit. Yeah, this is by Zero Fucks, who is called, who's actually Conan O'Donnell is his name, and we played stuff on the show by him before. And I'm pretty sure that this gentleman who has a very purple and royal blue face here is Jay Galligan. He's a good DJ from Dublin who now lives over in Bristol. But yeah, that seems to be his face there, I'm pretty sure. An electrified looking Jay Galligan. And yeah, this is the second release by Zero Fucks, and it's yeah, it's solid. Sounding a little bit more old school, or a little bit more 90s. A bit more of that kind of trancey vibe. Yeah, but lots of little kind of double beats and fills with the kicks and stuff here and there. Good energy to that. Yeah, and I think he's definitely getting his own sound here, without doubt. A lot of harder records around at the moment, but you know, he seems to have a really good identity. And then a couple of these kind of interludes as well. This one's a little bit more haunting. Still nicely rhythmic there as well. Yeah, a nice picture of a dog there as well, who isn't white anymore. Now, this one is on Dext Recordings, and this is by Bodyjack. Garagey kind of bass in there. Actually not a million miles away from some of the special request stuff. Moving on. A roller from in there. Not too sure what I can compare that to. A little bit like an old Reese kind of thing, or like the alternate or something. I don't know, but it's yeah, it's a good one. Now this one is by Taylor Dupree. This is on Ambivalence label, which is called Valence, I think. Now these are I guess remastered tracks, or just tracks from quite a few years ago. They're quite minimalist, as you can hear. The American producer Taylor Dupree. This is Valence number 4. Now on this side you've got a couple of remixes of those. One by Rod, who does this kind of minimalist bleepy thing fairly well as well, pretty reduced sounding. And then you've got Marco Shuttle doing a remix here as well. So yeah, like I said, it's all fairly minimalist stuff, but kind of music that comes very alive when played on a big system. A lot of bass and all of those, of course. Now this one is, and I should have played this last time around. I think I had it last time around. I think I did, but I didn't play it at the time, or did I? Anyway, doesn't matter. This one is, I'm Blueprint. It's the Structures and Solutions compilation. 1996 to 2016, which suggests that some of these tracks were made over the years. I could go through all of them. So James Ruskin and Devious one. Here is Makaton. The other side was OVR and Lacquer. You know what? I could go through all of those, but just to say, maybe I will. Fuck it. There's just so many to play. Planetary Soul Systems one, which to me already is better than anything on the Planetary Soul Systems album. You know, I would have loved to have heard something like this on it. But yeah, this is possibly my favourite on the comp. Steve Bicknell. Very overdriven bass there. Now we got Truss. Interesting one for him. Steppier. Bit of a ragga vocal or something. Room and progression. We've been doing fairly good, kind of quite functional sounding, but really effective on the dance floor. Spells there. James Ruskin then is here, and he appears in quite a few times over the compilation. So from him, Tesla with. Sounds like an old kind of Oliver Ho sort of thing, but yeah, nice one from him. Pretty pacey as well. This one's by Romek. Yeah, again, fairly functional but effective. Nice rhythms. There's a Blauin one, Passerby. Use of vocals, or of a vocal loop. Something that Blauin does very well. Comes back in there again, and then finally Oliver Ho, I just mentioned. Then Fear Ratio, which is James Ruskin and Mark Broom. And then finally Lacquer. Were Lacquer on? Did Lacquer have another track on this as well? They might well have. Yeah, they were on the first one as well, so they have 2 tracks on this. Now moving on, Riot Radio Records. This one is by Jerome Hill. Style of techno that he's known for, fairly intense actually. Yeah, but still enough of a groove in there. Always a really good swing off Jerome's tracks, even in the ones that sound a little bit more pushed, like this one. And then on the other side, the guys doing the label have done their own remix as well. version from them as well. And this is their second release, I think, and it's on Riot Radio Records. It's definitely worth checking out. It's nice that both of those tracks have a full side each as well. This one is by Tom DeCiccio on Delson. Something we've played plenty of here before. A lot of texture to or in Tom's music. Yeah, he's one of those producers that does make it's still fairly heavy drums, but atmosphere. Be a lot more uplifting and changes a lot as well. So I like about a lot of his tracks as well. They don't always have a completely definite structure where you know exactly what's going to happen throughout. Right, moving on, and we're getting close to the end now. We get one on quickly while I do that. This one is a new record. It's just the only info is it's called AWOL 001. Some white label business. Side and then long side. Not a million miles away from maybe something that Sheds might put out. Not quite, but not a million miles away. I don't think it is him, but I'm not sure who that one is by. This one is by someone called Snowbone, and this is on Lobster Theremin. Yeah, I think this is the one. Reworked, detuned techno. This one maybe a little bit more understated. It seems to be recorded quite a bit lower, or maybe just come out that way because it's the inside cut. Not bad, that one. To be honest though, it's a definite case of getting a record for one track. That's the one I got it for. Pretty powerful one, that. That's on Lobster Theremin. Now, let's see. This one is by Ritzy Lee, and it's on Moored, and I've played it quite a lot actually. I don't know if you'll notice all of these things, but certain records that I have been playing a little bit won't be in their original cover. Often when I finish playing, I'm just going back to a bunch of records out of their sleeves. And I kind of put them back into what's handy sometimes. I will try my best to find the original sleeve, but after a number of gigs, records can become separated from their original cover, which it did in this case. Yeah, good. Good solid 909 track, that one. yeah, it's all pretty functional stuff. But I like Ritzy Lee's. You know, when he's in form. So yeah, all fairly functional ones on this, but at least a couple that you'll be able to play and light up the dance floor with. Now, what have we got? We've got a Johan Search album here. Now, I'm trying to think again, when was this one from? Yeah, I think it's kind of relatively recent. Yeah, I don't know, would this be a case where we called it a double back rather than an album? Dan Bell-esque. A little bit. Slightly dreamier, that one. Now, moving on. Oh, there's a bit of these bits here. Yeah, for Johan Search, it's certainly not as heavy as Twerk. That's part of the charm here, actually. This one's a little bit more. So that's a new double pack, or I think it's, I forget actually how old it is, but that's from Johan Search on Figure, Lemfaki's label, who are putting out serious amounts of records, in fairness to them. This one is by Gadget, and this is on a new label of his. Yeah, he's taking no shit in this one. They're very much hardware jams. This is on his new label, which is called Ophism Recordings. Yeah, so very Regis inspired techno grooves, but the kicks are even more distorted, actually, heavier. So here. Yeah, if you're looking for something a little bit heavier, that one by Gadget is definitely worth checking out. Right, where are we? We are close to the end. Let me see. Oh, right, here is one by, who's it by? It's on Illegal Alien Records. And it's by Xi Ectomorpho, or Xi, and the tune is called Exomorpho. Fairly functional stuff, but little nice sounds there. This is the Quartz remix. Actually, that's the Quartz remix, and then there is a Kessel who used to be part of Exium, or is part of Exium. It's a Kessel remix. Again, the kick is pushed down a little bit, and it's a lot about the bass in this one. And a more jacking, I guess, Perk remix on the inside. Yeah, pretty solid stuff there overall. Now, where are we? A few more here. Did we have that one before? I think we might have had that one before. Oh yeah, Morris, Waxmaster Morris. These are some old tracks actually on Dance Mania. Freak. Yeah, very much of their time. I'm pretty sure DJ Funk used that in a couple of tracks as well, because a lot of them used to borrow from each other, let's say. And then on the other side, the big bands. Oh yeah, this is the one I like. Always nice being able to pick up some of these. Danse Mania, classic label. Now, where are we? What is this? This is Tinfoil 4. I don't really want to describe one of my own records, but I think Matt and I are pretty happy with this one. Out fairly okay, I think. Quite happy with that. That should be out soon, and with a bit of luck we'll have number 5 out before the year's end as well. So now next up is this one. This is by Dawid, who I mentioned earlier, and this is on their own label, Dawid. They're already up to number 6. This I got well, probably in July or something like that, I think. It seems like I've been playing it for a good while anyway. I played one of theirs earlier in the show. And Don't Be Afraid, but this one is just by them. Yeah, pretty moody stuff. Developer remix. Now we've got this. This is actually out a while, but I've been meaning to pick it up for a while. Somebody told me about this guy, and they had a double back on Black Sun Records, which I kind of missed out on. Nice range of tracks. Doesn't do a lot, that one, but it's definitely gets some use from it. It's a bit like a mixture of rasping hi-hats, but yeah, I'm liking the sequences for sure. Yeah, like in ways there's nothing hugely original about the tracks, but they all seem to just have a nice sound to them. Like every track we played there is gonna sound really good played out. Now what's the other one like? as well, I should have said, is by an artist called Farah. I forget who it was that told me about this guy. Is he a Dutch producer or is he... Oh, I can't remember. Somebody told me about him, maybe a promoter one night told me to watch out for this guy, or is he Greek? I can't remember. Check it out anyway. Yeah, that's a double pack from him, and the first double pack actually on Black Sun Records, so it's a bit of an accolade. Now next up we got this. It's by Andreas Gam, who sadly passed away this year. I know a lot of people have said it, but whatever it is about 2016, it just seems like a lot of the good guys in music are dying. But yeah, as the cliche goes, thankfully their music still lives on. Slightly houseier for him on this, but still. Chicago workout here. And then on the flip, was there a remix on this actually? No. I'm liking this one. I don't know if what the center art there reminds anyone of, but it kind of reminds me of the old would have been one of the early Dynamic Tension or Counterbalance records. Maybe Dynamic Tension. That's on Midnight Shift. So yeah, we're very nearly there. Now another one on Mord. We don't normally play so many on one label, but I actually realised recently I had a bit of a gap of playing anything on Mord actually. But we've got three releases on Mord this time. Now, which one is this? This is the... I assume this is the Endlek one, yeah. And Shiari. Good functional stuff. That one is the Dimi Angelis one. And a hefty one there from Tripio as well. Which could well be the highlight of that. But yeah, all solid ones. Now we are literally down to the last few. By LFDM. We've had 3 on Midnight Shift tonight. There is a Bleaching Asian remix on this somewhere, I think. Yeah. Not sure which one. Side. Okay, so it's the first one on the other side. Pulsing sub in there actually. It's nearly pinned to me at the moment, the way I can feel it here actually. Yeah, some pretty raw stuff there, but nicely produced all the same. Sometimes stuff like that that's kind of overdriven can sort of go to mush, but those sound pretty nice. Now this is one of 2 records. In fact, there could be even, yeah, I think it was just 2. These are taken from Object's recent mix CD of Tresor. First one is by Clatterbox, who's been doing stuff for years. Celeste as well. And then Pulsar. And via app. That's nice. Some of these would be, or all of these at least, are exclusive tracks that were made just for the mix CD. And I'll quickly go on to the other one, which is the rarities one. Going on to A. This is by Malin. Came out back in 2000. This one is by Fret, which is Mick Harris. Again, I'm not too sure that this record's the original Fret one. I have it, but I'm not sure if it's something that like would go for money on Discogs now or not. But it's certainly nice being able to pick it up on this. Next one's by Future Pass, Gert Giorgio. Kevin Saunderson influence, possibly that one. And this one is by Mono Junk. We played something by earlier that was originally released on his label Dumb Records, which is well worth checking out. Actually, they've got a great back catalogue. Now this one is on Involve number 11. Actually, it was another record I was looking for by this person, Boston 168. It wasn't still in stock, so I got this instead. Yeah, kind of a atmospheric, acidy stuff. Always a time in a set for something like that. Boston 168. Now we're closing in on the end. This one is by Whirling Hall of Knives. On their own. I think it's not on Transmat, it's actually on the label. It's just called Whirling Hall of Knives or Hawk or Walk. Can you play that at 45? Probably could. Some of the not a million miles away from old caustic window or polygon window, the harder edged stuff. It's a little bit like a quote or something like that. Yeah, proper noisy stuff from those two. Now moving on, nearly there. This one is by Bored Young Adults, aka Blauen. and this is on Trilogy tapes, I think. Yeah, definitely. Blauen's stuff is getting a lot deeper and more considered, I think, overall. It's a different sound. It's not, the dance floor isn't always the first thing in mind for him anymore. Now onto the flip. Builds up nicely. Actually, that kind of comes to the fore here and there. Nice tinkling sounds there, rounding it off. And now, yeah, this one, Ricardo Garduno. And this one is on Nackstrom Schallplatten again. This is Xhei, or XHEI, who we played something from earlier. I think this is, let me see. Yeah, that's the A side, so this is the Orphix remix, I think. NX1. Driving, rolling, broken beats. And then the other side, this is the Xhei or XI1, whatever way you say his name, her name, and Alias Sanchez then is the inside cut. Right. Cool, so that's those two. Omar S on FXHE. It sounds like something from the mid-90s there. And then leading on to the other side. Hooley would have done on Force Inc. or something back in the day. Answer code request here. This one is on Oscoton. I like that already. Oscut stable answer code request is yeah, he just has a nice, on each record there's always a good variety of tracks. You can do the kind of straight ahead stuff, but then nice kind of broken, uplifting stuff like this. Reminds me of something. It's like an old kind of mid-90s sort of trance, really fast trance thing. I forget the name of it. I can't think. Now finally, this one is by Fur Friend.
You love your mother, but out of bread. He's like no other than for the ones who.
Good vocals in all of their tracks. This is on a label called, what's it called? TBR, let me get the name of it. Death by, oh, I can't actually see whether, Death by something, Death by Ransom? I don't know. Yeah, a nice acid version of it to play us out. Although in saying that, this says Polytuna, the Fool Stone remix, so there's a little bit of... okay, Polytuna is the name of the tune, and this is the Fool Stone remix. So yeah, playing us out, this is Fur Friends. Thanks to everyone who braved it through the whole episode. Thanks also to everyone who sent me records for this, it's appreciated, and keep up the good work. Thanks a lot. Talk to you next time.